Picture this. You're a millionaire CEO walking to your car after a long day. And suddenly a child's voice from inside your motor tells you to shut up and stay quiet. You'd think you were losing your marbles, wouldn't you? But what that 7-year-old was about to reveal would save not just his company, but expose a betrayal so deep it would land his closest allies in prison. Let me paint you a picture of Jonathan Miller. 52 years old, built his tech company from absolutely nothing into a £160 million empire. The sort of bloke who still remembers when he couldn't afford proper coffee, now running board meetings in glass towers. He's got 2 people he trusts with his life. His business partner Marcus, who's been by his side for 15 years, and his executive assistant Diana, who's organized every aspect of his world for a decade. But here's the thing about trust. Sometimes it's the very weapon people use to destroy you. It's a typical Tuesday evening, and Jonathan's walking across the company car park to his BMW. Nothing unusual, just another day at the office. Then he hears it, a small voice cutting through the silence like a blade. Shut up and do unsay a word. His blood runs cold. The voice is coming from inside his car. He peers through the tinted windows and sees a little black girl, maybe 7 years old, crouched in his back seat like she's hiding from the world. They're listening, she whispers, nodding towards his office building. Your partner and that blonde woman. They said you'd be here right about now. Now, most people would be calling security, wouldn't they? But something in the child's eyes stops Jonathan cold. Pure fear mixed with determination, the look of someone who's seen too much for her age. How did you get in here? He asked quietly, sliding into the driver's seat, without making any sudden moves. The cleaning lady left it unlocked, she explains, her voice barely above a whisper. I was hiding because I heard them talking about you upstairs. They said tomorrow you won't own anything anymore. Jonathan's world tilts sideways. Tomorrow's the big day, the meeting with Japanese investors for a £320 million merger. The deal Marcus and Diana have been orchestrating for months. The deal that's supposed to make them all rich, beyond their wildest dreams.
What else did you hear? He manages to ask, his throat suddenly dry as sandpaper.
That you're dead stupid, and you're going to sign papers without reading them properly, the girl says matter-of-factly. The blonde lady laughed and said day after tomorrow, you'll be looking for a new job. The casual cruelty of it hits him like a physical blow. 15 years of partnership with Marcus. 10 years of trusting Diana with everything. His schedule, his passwords, his bloody life, and they see him as nothing more than a useful idiot about to be discarded. What's your name, sweetheart? He asks. Jasmine? And you're Jonathan Miller? Because I heard them say it about 1,000 times? She pauses, suddenly looking vulnerable. Are you going to call the police on me now? For the first time in weeks, Jonathan finds himself genuinely smiling. No, Jasmine. In fact, you might have just saved everything I've built. As they sit there in the darkening car park, office lights switching off one by one above them, Jonathan realizes he's found the most unlikely ally imaginable. A homeless child who risked her own safety to warn a complete stranger about betrayal. But why would a 7-year-old do that? What could possibly motivate her to get involved in corporate espionage, when she should be worrying about homework and cartoons? Because I know what it's like when people think you're invisible, she explains with wisdom far beyond her years. They were talking about you like you're nothing, like you don't matter. My Nan always said, when you see someone getting stamped on and you can help, you help. Because next time it could be you. Jonathan drives through the empty streets, his mind racing. Jasmine stays alert in the back seat, watching the mirrors like a proper little spy. Every traffic light, every turn, she's scanning for threats. This isn't her first rodeo. Where do you live? He asks gently. Nowhere special, she shrugs with heartbreaking casualness. Sometimes the shelter, sometimes on the streets. Depends if there's room or if the other kids aren't being too aggro. They end up at an all-night cafe, Jasmine demolishing a burger, whilst Jonathan pretends to drink his coffee. His phone buzzes with a text from Marcus. Ready for tomorrow, mate? The Japanese are going to love our proposal. You're going to retire wealthy. Jonathan shows the screen to Jasmine, who snorts with laughter. He's got some proper cheek, hasn't he? Lying to your face and still pretending to be your mate. Another message arrives, this one from Diana. Jonathan, I've reviewed the final contracts. Everything's perfect for signing. Trust me like you always have. The fake warmth in those words makes Jonathan's stomach churn. For 10 years, Diana's been his right hand, organizing his life, knowing his secrets, having access to everything. And all the while, she's been planning his downfall. They know everything about you, don't they? Jasmine observes, licking ketchup off her fingers. Everything. Bank passwords, company accounts, where I keep important documents. They've had years to prepare this. But you've got years of dirt on them too, right? Jonathan stops mid-sip. The child's absolutely right. 15 years with Marcus, 10 with Diana. He knows their secrets as well as they know his. The dodgy meetings Marcus thought were private. The irregular bonuses Diana awarded herself. The conversations he overheard when they assumed he wasn't listening. You're pretty sharp, aren't you, Jasmine? When you've got nothing, you learn to notice everything, she replies. They think you're thick, but you're not, are you? That night, Jonathan barely sleeps. But by morning, he's got a plan. And the first call he makes is to Gabriel Torres, a private investigator, who used to work for the company until Marcus and Diana had him sacked last year. Isn't it funny how that makes sense now? Gabriel, I need your help. And I think you're going to enjoy this. 2 hours later, Gabriel's in Jonathan's kitchen, looking at Jasmine with pure admiration. So this little detective uncovered a 160 million pounds conspiracy by hiding under desks and listening to conversations. My nan always said that when you've got nothing, you learn to listen to everything, Jasmine explains, munching on toast. Gabriel pulls out his tablet, revealing spreadsheets and documents. Jonathan, whilst Jasmine was saving your company, I've been doing some digging of my own. Marcus and Diana aren't just traitors, they're thieves. The evidence is devastating. DODGY transfers, fake contracts, phantom clients that exist only on paper. For 2 years, they've been siphoning millions from the company, creating a web of shell companies to hide their tracks. The merger with the Japanese isn't about growth, Gabriel explains. It's about money laundering. They need you to sign to validate all the retrospective transfers. After that, they boot you out and everything's squeaky clean. Jonathan feels rage building in his chest. This isn't just betrayal, it's organized crime. They've been stealing from the company I built with my own hands. Now it gets interesting, Jasmine grins. They think you're stupid, but you've got a detective and a clever girl on your side, and they don't know any of this. Jonathan's phone rings. Marcus, right on cue. Morning, partner. Hope you slept well. Diana and I have been here since dawn, sorting the final details. The Japanese are going to be well impressed. I'm sure they will be, Jonathan replies carefully. Oh, and Jonathan, Anna reckons you don't need to bother reviewing the documents today. They're quite technical, and you've always trusted our expertise, haven't you? Just turn up and sign where she tells you to. The arrogance is breathtaking. They genuinely believe they can steal 160 million pounds and make him grateful for the privilege. After hanging up, Gabriel leans forward. You've got 2 choices. Call the old bill now and try to prove this in court, risking they get off on technicalities, or let them hang themselves. Go to the meeting, but not as the victim they're expecting. Like in a film, Jasmine claps excitedly. You pretend you're going to sign, but you already know everything? Exactly. And whilst they're celebrating early, you turn them in to the police with irrefutable evidence. The plan is brilliant in its simplicity. Jonathan will attend the meeting as expected, but he'll be recording everything. Gabriel will be stationed nearby with backup evidence, and Jasmine, against all conventional wisdom, will be their secret weapon. It's hidden where she can capture crucial conversations. At 2 o'clock sharp, Jonathan walks into the conference room like it's just another day at the office. Marcus and Diana are already there, arranging documents with surgical precision. Jonathan. Marcus jumps up with a beaming smile, embracing him like a brother. Perfect timing. The Japanese are on their way. Diana approaches with her usual maternal smile. Boss, you just need to sign where I've marked with yellow tags. Trust me like you always have. Of course, Jonathan replies calmly. But first I wanted to show you something interesting I discovered last night. Gabriel walks in, carrying a box of files, followed by 2 Metropolitan Police detectives. Marcus and Diana exchange glances, but keep smiling. Gabriel, Marcus frowns. I thought you didn't work for us anymore. I don't, Gabriel replies dryly. Now I work for the real owner of the company. Jonathan connects his laptop to the projector.
Hey, Marcus. Diana, remember this conversation from last night?
The screen lights up with bank transfers, dates, amounts. Pound 4.2 million embezzled over 2 years. Diana's smile finally cracks. Jonathan, what's all this? Some sort of wind-up? Jonathan clicks to the next screen. Photographs of Marcus at offshore banks, signed documents, fake contracts. You created 15 shell companies to launder the money you nicked from me. Marcus stands abruptly, his charm finally slipping. Where did you get this? This information is confidential? Marcus, did you really think I built a 160 million pounds company without learning to protect my own interests? Diana tries one last desperate play. Jonathan, you're misunderstanding. These transactions have perfectly legal explanations. Gabriel interrupts, handing evidence folders to the detectives. Here are recordings of them planning the fraudulent merger. And here are confessions from 3 phantom clients they invented, all ready to testify. The door opens and in walks Jasmine, accompanied by a social worker. Her eyes shine with determination as she approaches the conference table. Hello, Mr. Marcus, she says sweetly. Remember me? I was hiding when you rang Mr. Yamamoto yesterday, saying you were going to nick Mr. Jonathan's company. The silence is deafening. Marcus opens and closes his mouth like a fish gasping for air. Diana plays her final card, voice high with desperation. A child. You're going to believe some street kid over respected professionals? Gabriel pulls out his phone and presses play. Diana's voice echoes through the room with crystal clarity. Jonathan's a sentimental mug. Day after tomorrow, he'll be looking for work, and we'll have everything. That tosser will never know what hit him. Marcus's voice follows. 15 years pretending to be mates with that plank. It'll be worth every second when I see his face realizing he's lost everything. As the handcuffs click around their wrists, Marcus shouts, This won't stick. I'll destroy you. Jonathan adjusts his tie with his usual calm. Marcus, you already tried to destroy me. The difference is, I'm better at it than you are. 6 months later, Jonathan's in his new office on the 20th floor, watching London sprawl below him. Miller Industries has grown 40% since the arrest, finally free of the parasites that had been bleeding it dry. Gabriel knocks, carrying good news. Marcus got 12 years. Diana got 8. They've lost everything. Homes, assets, the lot. Even their brief dropped them when they tried bribing witnesses. Jasmine bursts in from her new private school, uniform spotless, eyes bright with the same intelligence as always, but now nourished by education and security. Mr. Jonathan, I got top marks on my maths test. She waves the paper proudly. Brilliant, Jasmine. Knew you could do it. There's something Jonathan needs to tell them both, something he discovered during the investigation that changes everything. Jasmine, what was your nan's name? Josephine Miller. Why? Gabriel raises his eyebrows as Jonathan opens a folder of legal documents, birth certificates, family trees, old photographs. Josephine Miller was my cousin, my dad's brother's daughter, who the family lost touch with 30 years ago. The silence is absolute. Jasmine stares from the documents to Jonathan, processing the revelation. That means we're proper family, Jonathan says softly. When you warned me about the conspiracy, it was family instinct. You didn't consciously know we were related, but something inside recognized the connection. 3 months later, the adoption ceremony takes place in the same courthouse where Marcus and Diana were convicted. Jasmine Miller, now legally his daughter, holds Jonathan's hand as the judge signs the papers. 5 years on, Miller Industries has become one of Britain's top 100 tech companies. Jonathan created a scholarship program for vulnerable children, funding education and housing for over 200 kids annually. Jasmine, now 12, is the program's honorary president, personally selecting recipients and mentoring other young people facing similar struggles. You know what the best day of my life was? Jasmine asks during the program's anniversary dinner. What was it? The day I got in your car and decided to trust you. Because that day, I wasn't just saving your company, I was saving our family. Marcus and Diana had tried to destroy everything Jonathan built, but they inadvertently gave him the greatest gift imaginable, the chance to discover that family isn't just about blood. It's about courage, loyalty, and unconditional love. True revenge isn't destroying those who betray you. It's building something so beautiful and powerful that their betrayal becomes nothing more than a footnote in your success story. Right then, if this story of family, justice, and unexpected heroes has given you goosebumps, don't just scroll past. Hit that like button if you believe the smallest voices can make the biggest difference. Share this with someone who needs reminding that heroes come in all shapes and sizes. Sometimes they re-7-year-old girls hiding in the back of cars. Subscribe for more stories that prove the universe has a funny way of putting exactly the right people in our path at exactly the right moment. And drop a comment below. Have you ever been saved by an unlikely hero? Or maybe you've been that unlikely hero for someone else. Because sometimes the person who saves your entire world is the one you never saw coming. Remember that.